Oh no.
Oh. Well, this is too real.
What I noticed beginning with the pandemic,
Yeah.
all these intergenerational stories. And I realized people were having to live under one roof. So the whole family would just stay at home and it would be all the generations at once. And when you get into a culture like Chinese culture and ancestors are such a huge part of their spirituality, you get a story where there's all this clashing between generations. But actually, I think the ancestor thing just shows that everybody's still having to pay for the issues that were brought before them. You know, and it gets passed down and passed down and passed down. And the message of this is that you can break that.
Yeah.
You can break the pattern. Loved it.
What was really compelling was the final Red Panda transformation scene when she finds her mom in a young age. That is not even like impressive directing. That is perfect directing. To have made that decision so she even thinking about that scene, I think in the future is going to make me tear up. That it was just, it blindsided you as an audience, and it was exactly what the movie needed to communicate its message. Because if she found her mom in her typical presentation that we were familiar with, you'd still have that jump to make in communication. But this brought her to the age of one of her friends. That was what we needed for the healing to happen. Because I think any parent watching this, instead of being like, oh, whatever, this kid movie, when it gets to that moment, then I'm sure, I would love to see like parents react. It will bring every parent back to their childhood.
Well, we like you say, you know, we're all just children as adults.
I mean, the whole thing, from Abby
So relatable.
to the fact that it's a cartoon animation, I love that. It has the wild, imaginative elements of a pizzazzed out and wacky cartoon, but in animated form, where they're going to break the fourth wall, they're going to break senses of physics and just be this greater than life story, but still have the emotional elements, still have positive messaging, and still have messaging for all ages. And to have it still be a figurative and metaphorical movie talking about growing up, puberty, and menstruation, which is a pretty big thing. And it's a big thing in that it's not a big thing. Like, menstruation is normal. It is natural.
Our society.
And to have to...
Society loves to... Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
We've spent our society trying to deny what is true for us. And part of this message was, you know, there's this inner messiness that we have. There's this stuff we can't figure out, stuff we can't put into place, things we can't be perfect.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's like, honor that confusion, that chaos.
That there were moments here that detracted from being a 10 out of 10 movie. It was colorful. I mean, the things that I wish could have been better are the music, like the musical choices and where they placed the music. It could have been, instead of using Destiny's Child, they could have maybe had an original song that had that oomph to it that made everyone leave the theater singing, which, if you guys watch Grace Randolph, I love her, as mentioned in every live stream we do. She says you always want your ending to be so strong, and you want people, if it's a musical, leaving the theater singing your song. And I maybe on my own. Anyway, so the music could have been better placed, could have been more hip hop and snazzy.
Yeah, a little snazzier.
The part where the first thing in the movie that I felt could have been stronger was when the grandma came in and threw the hair. That should have been slow-mo. 100 p. As the grandma kept talking to her in real time, the fur should have fallen in slow-mo.
When she threw her friends under the bus, I thought there should have been, for as much as they signaled things, for as much as they kind of zoomed in on moments, that moment to me was huge, that she should have looked at them, they look at her, looked at her mom, just had that moment, a couple more ways that we can see her thinking back and forth and then making a decision. Not just, she kind of got cold and then just went with her mom.
And then I'll just mention, please hold your thought. This is the last thing I'm going to say. To the whole audience of people who were saying that this movie's too mature for a PG movie and it should have been PG-13, absolutely not.
Why?
Absolutely not. This was absolutely appropriate for the age.
Yeah.
For every age.
Maybe because it talked about menstruation.
Maybe because people are not talking about menstruation. The movie did it and they're like, holy snap, I thought I had more time.
It's interesting with the whole ancestor thing. Usually the story, like I said, is where one generation passes along, and nothing's broken. However, here, everything was pointing toward the mom. You know, we knew she was a helicopter parent in the beginning, all that stuff. But her trauma and her panda was bigger because of her trauma. Now,
is it because of her trauma? I don't
imagine. I imagine. I mean, that panda was heavy, and that panda was fierce, and that panda was angry. All that stuff was what she was carrying around in her. So she finally let it go at the end, and then even was able to then have the clarity to say, I taught this to you, I'm sorry. So that broke that. So anyway, I really, it's this beautiful movie. Beautiful movie.
And what I wish is that at the very least we had discussions. And we had open conversations, because that's what this movie is also highlighting, that people are not talking. This mom is suppressing stuff that she wanted to say to her mom, but just never had the space to talk about it. And why don't we as a society talk more? I think for parents who are helicopter, it might be so offensive to them to watch this movie, to know that the child is thinking of their friends, because that's the kind of messaging that they're like trying to not let them think. Like, don't replace me with your friends, because this is just, you know, you're in this time in your life and I'm always here for you. But that both are important is what the movie should have communicated.
Yeah, one of the problems with parents doing that, I think, put too much on the child, not just in the pressure of do the right thing, but the whole emotional, they put stock in their own emotional health onto their children.
And even I mean, the mom was saying she was successful, but parents who expect their children to be their success stories and carry them.
Children.
Trophy children. We all know it. Yeah. What a gem-packed movie. You want to take some time to go into your little dojo? Let's think. Ding! 9.8. Oh, okay, cool. We're at the same. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Thank you all so much for watching. We loved spending time with you. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, be safe, be strong, be swagged. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next video.
Good health to you and yours. Be safe during this time, and keep the arts in your heart.
Ciao!